share my knife collection. I don't have a ton of knives, and I only regularly use 2 of them. Most of them were inherited from my father, so I always enjoy getting them out and looking at them. So let's check them out together. First, I'll display the knives that I use very often. This is my pocket knife. It's a cheap $1 folder, and it's completely dull, and you can see that I use it for work a lot, and it's just my go-to pocket knife. I've never really had any problems with it, and I like the shape and the style. I do have very particular, preferences when it comes to a knife's shape, and this one I think looks pretty mean, and it fits my hand really well. It's lightweight, so I carry this every day. I've experimented with other knives, but this one having the thumb opener and just being inexpensive is my great everyday go-to knife. Maybe I should sharpen the tip. I do also have one of those rods that lets you sharpen these serrated areas, but I've not really ever had the need to do that. So I've opened lots of things with this knife. It's really grimy. The other knife I use very regularly is this one, which was given to me by my brother maybe, or it might have been my dad's. It's a blurry line sometimes where this stuff comes from. Some of my uncles had some great LP records that I own now too, so it's a blurry line. But then anyway, this one is my letter opener. You can see that it says Kentucky Toothpick. And down here it says it's made by Frost Cutlery. Surgical steel. I love the shape of this. It reminds me of a dagger that would be used by a Dungeons and Dragons character. Once again, it just fits my hand perfectly. I have on occasion hung it up just as a decor item. It's very, very nice. I love that. It's of course completely dull. That's why I use it to open letters. It actually sits in my pen. I have a cup to hold pens and highlighters and business cards and scissors and stuff. And this just hangs out with those, and I use it all the time. Very cool piece. I love this knife. Alright, now we'll get into some other stuff. I guess first I'll dazzle you with this one, which I did buy and do a review of a couple years ago. It's just, I don't really stay involved with knives or look them up or anything online. But this one caught my attention the Christmas season a couple years ago, so I got it for myself. It's a Timberwolf, like a completely dull, like rainbow knife, very striking. And I tried to carry this for a while, but it's just dull. I never really wanted to put the energy into sharpening it. But it's just a conversation piece. Very cool. Very neat look. I did use it for some time. I did carry it around for a few months at least. And I'm still dazzled by it, definitely. It's got a good sound. Alright, now we're going to get actually into, hang on, one more that I'm pretty sure I bought myself or somehow acquired myself. This is just a nice skeleton blade Gerber knife. And once again, a mean looking knife. I like it quite a lot. So this skeletal style is something maybe just over the counter at a shop or something. But it's a pretty cool knife. Too small for my everyday purposes, and it doesn't have that thumb like opener, but I still think it's pretty cool. You can see there's just a little bit of blue there. Some of these knives we'll get to a little bit later have been stored improperly, and they have some of that grime that naturally develops on metal over the decades. So that's just some residual grime. Okay, very, very nice knife. Very shallow serrations on this. But I remember Gerber being a sought-after knife when I was, I guess, a teenager, and checking out all those cool fantasy knives that they offered. Big swords and things. I had a sword for a while. It was called a Carlos V. And I got it on a family vacation at Smoky Mountain Knife Works one time. And I sold it at a fair event at a friend's booth. At a festival, I mean. Alright, so this is just a little money clip. Probably came in a combination pack of other knives. I'm interested in the idea of the money clip, but I do have to carry a full functioning wallet everywhere I go because I've got so much that I need to cart around with me at all times. But if I could live a more simple life, just with a credit card and some cash on me, I would be really happy about that. And in a situation like that, I would probably get a lot of use out of the old money clip. So this one's just got a knife, a dull knife, and my nails have recently been cut. Oh, you know, that just kind of came in handy right there. Because of a tiny imperfection in my cutting of my nails. Great, well then, this is just a double duty video. My nails are now much more properly maintained, and we get to enjoy this video together. A Winchester money clip knife combo. Alright, this one is just a little folding knife. Really, I can't really see any functional. Oh well, never mind. It's a bottle opener. I was about to say it would be a little bit odd to carry this around because this is just a this is obviously just like a letter opener style knife and a bottle opener. So I don't really have any need to carry around a bottle opener. Actually, on my keys for years, I had a bottle opener and took it off about a year ago and really haven't had to use it since. And I like to have my keys be totally functional with things that I utilize all the time. So I'm feeling pretty good about not having a bottle opener on my keys. But I would never carry an outstanding bottle opener just in my pocket. So there we go. Little bottle opener. Now we're getting into the older stuff, definitely. Or we will be in a couple moments. So here's probably what came in that combo. Winchester money clip knife combo, probably for a gift, Christmas season or something. A little bit sharpness lingering here on this one. I like this brushed steel look with you can see the grain of the metal. And it's also a nice looking shape to me. A little bit too heavy here in the back portion. But if this was a little bit more streamlined and didn't have that bulkiness, I would like the shape very much. I like the shape of the blade. Alright, now as promised, we're getting into some older knives. This is probably the one I remember the most from my childhood. I know that I must have carried this one around quite a lot, and it is a pony knife, so I don't know if this was widely marketed. How many pony knives are out there? But in the 80s, I guess this was a mass-marketed brand. Beautiful knife with the coppery-looking metal and real wood. Nice grain. which is unique among the knives we've looked at so far. And I kind of like that. It just gives it some style points, having the base of the spine be the lock release. And a lot of grime down in there, though. A lot of that blue-green residue. So this was my pocket knife through a lot of my youth and childhood. I remember this one. It's actually a little bit sharp still. So maybe my dad helped me sharpen this one. Really sharp tip. So that's one of my favorites. Now we've got an old-timer knife. Old-timer. Like a plastic faux bone. As far as I know, it's faux bone. It's aged to a really ruddy look. And just some notes about blade shape. This one is I don't like this very much. With this big nose on the blade, but look at that big wide thumb latch. So here we have just the quintessential pocket knife with several blades. So the end user can just decide what they want to use these individual blades for. Small knife. This blade, however, I think is really cool. It looks really mean. Oh, well, that's a shame. Oh, okay, never mind. I thought that this very moment this blade was like breaking, but it just sort of just rests in the middle of the other two blades. But yeah, so this looks really, really good to me. Really mean looking blade. You can see it's all filthy, but this tapered shape, exceptional, very cool. This was made by Schrade in New York. That's a name I'm familiar with, Schrade Knives. This is definitely a classic one. Maybe I should look up the value of some of this stuff, who knows. Here we go, check this one out. We have two birds here, cranes, some kind, and some wood grain, very, very unique. Much lighter wood grain on this side. A stunning knife, very beautiful. Let's check out the blade shapes. This is heavy metal, a lot of bulk here. The metal of the blade itself, it's chunky. This one's made by, it looks like, Solingen. Probably Class, maybe a vanity label for a knife manufacturer. So a little unbalanced. This blade looks a little too big for the handle. For my tastes anyway. And then here's another one of those clubby looking blades. I don't know, maybe in the history of knife manufacture and use, these clubby ones might have a function that I'm just not aware of for certain applications. But awesome looking knife. I think I will be researching this one. Very cool. Maintained okay. You can see some of the grime down in there. These really do deserve a touch up and some TLC. Right next, we've got another old timer knife with this bone or possibly faux bone, and some machining here to create a very, very nice texture. Hope I'm not wrecking the value of some very valuable knife by getting some scratchy noises out of it. Anyway, yeah, you can see that looks like these have split just a little bit as the bolts are I guess they're pins have been stuck through here. this tapered blade shape looks so great to me. Feels good in the hand. Ready for some slicing applications. You can see there's even some chips along this blade. It must have been the favorite of someone who was using it too, because this is the sharpest one I've touched so far. You can see a whole lot of marks there in the metal, and this one, yeah, this is razor sharp. Great. Great, 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 great. Wonder what my dad used it for. Some of these may have even belonged to my grandfather. Maybe one day I'll show off the guns I inherited. But my dad and family were really big into trap shooting. So during all of our special family get-togethers, we would shoot clay pigeons. And so he got a really, really nice sport special edition of a trap shooting gun. And there's a bunch of other ones too, shotguns and things that I inherited, including one that's very old. And my brother recently was checking it out and said that it dates from 1914, but it doesn't hold tremendous value. The real value is in the heirloom qualities of it and the family history. And that one may have been my grandfather's. I'm going to have to ask one of my other brothers. So I've got some really grimy, nasty, like chunks of rusty metal or something in here. Who knows what that is? Maybe it's the remains of some animal. And here we have a very unique blade shape, very unique swoopy design, and even the thumb grip, nail grip is very unique. And just some odd, unidentifiable grime on this Schrade old-timer knife and some rust, more rust. So just some other knives. This one looks like it was well used. My father also was a big-time trapper, and he would catch foxes and mink and everything, and then he would skin them and stretch their skins on metal stretchers and then sell the pelts for every winter. So that's another interesting part of my heritage that I look back on with fondness. The memories and the history. A lot of the striations here during the manufacturing process have been worn down, so this probably is the most utilized knife that we've looked at so far. So maybe this was my dad's favorite for whatever purposes he used it for. Alright, now here we have a really unique bone. I guess it's bone that's been hand carved at the case plant with little notches, maybe the hand of a expert knife manufacturer. This one is really in need of some TLC, you can see. And the blade, very pitted. So the most neglected knife so far in this showing. You can see the intense pitting. I don't know if too much can be done about that, so this will just remain in the collection as a valuable keepsake. Rusty old knife, actually pretty sharp. Yeah, so very sharp actually. Sharp and rusty. I'll try not to cut myself during this showing. So I'm definitely not up to date on my tetanus shots. Don't want to get some tetanus from the 80s or the 70s if it sits around that long. Maybe it just gets even more gruesome. Oh, now here's a beautiful knife. Maybe we'll get a clue about its manufacturing. is a hammer brand, an old hammer knife, and you might not be able to see this very well, but it's an arm holding a hammer. Okay. Also kind of sharp. And as we're looking at these older knives, the blade shapes are really getting kind of odd, aren't they? With a taper heading in toward the middle. Tons of rust, and then it's unique there to see the way that the metal has aged and been, as it's been worn. So very cool. Like a mother of pearl almost. Wonder what this actual material is. I think some of these knives are so old. It's just a guess, but maybe they predate like plastic, fake mother of pearl stuff. I really wish I knew more about the history of these individual knives. There's some bounce there. I don't know if something's stuck in there. What's going on? But there's really no locking mechanism or anything. It's just got these awkward little horns. So very cool. Hopefully the camera work hasn't been too bad through this video. I've really been focusing mostly on the knives and not trying to keep everything in focus. Alright. Wow, this one has my initials on it. I never knew that. I had no idea. There they are. Awesome. And it's got an arrow through my initials. Great. Since I don't really have any memory of this knife, this must have been one I got when that was given to me when I was very, very young. Here we go. Great. It makes me really happy to go through these knives. Maybe in an upcoming lazy afternoon, I'll clean all these up a little bit. But this one's really got a lot of notches and nicks. So maybe that was my pocket knife when I was a little kid. So lots of old-timer knives. I guess this was a favorite of my family. This one almost looks like a copy of another one we looked at. Yeah, it's possible that's the same knife. Maybe. Well, let's just look at it again anyway. It's got that awesome blade shape. This weird stubby knife and the other knife. Who knows how many of these were manufactured and what the distribution channels were like and how many other people have them as a part of their family heirloom collections. So beautiful wood grain on this. Stunning red. Probably dyed wood. No note. Oh, okay, it's a Winchester knife, an early one. Lots of nicks in the blade. Winchester knife. There we go. Fine looking piece. I didn't drag them out, but I've got a couple of multi-tools which kind of fit the category of knives and pocket knives, but for this showing I didn't grab them. Alright, here we have a Barlow knife from Ireland by the Camco line, Camco manufacturer. Yeah, I'm going to have to spend a little bit of time in front of the computer to find out about these. So it must have been popular during that time too. This one does kind of look and feel like plastic. Oh, and actually it's use. So this notching, like finger grip business on the side, very common, I guess, in knives of this era. But we have a Barlow, Camco Barlow. Maybe Barlow is a proper given name or something. Alright, now we've got another case knife. I would wager it's real bone. I don't know if there's a process that allows them to dye bone or something, or just paint it. Just the standard straight ahead bone, tested double X razor edge is what it says there on the blade. Let's give it a test. Nah, this feels pretty dull. Maybe it would take to the sharpener really well. Case knife. Seems to me these are probably still being manufactured. Little knife here. Little pocket knife. Alright. Here we have just another money clip of suspicious origins. Looks like there was something on here before. Might have been related to my dad's place of work. They were always giving them little things like that. Okay, now we're getting into some other knives. I do have some leather sheaths. This one's empty. It would fit any number of the ones we've already glanced at. And then these are like skinning or fixed blade knives. This is a nice sheathed one from the B.L. Baker company, I guess. Very poorly maintained once again, to my shame. With a lot of that residue. Leather strap. Kind of dull. Probably not used to do any skinning of animals or anything of that nature. My dad also raised like quails and rabbits, and they would make their way to the table. So he was an avid outdoorsman. Our next knife is this awesome fixed blade bone with really rustic carvings here, just roughly shaved in. And a unique like pommel. I guess that's the way they fix the blade. And this is just a stainless blade from China. No other real indicators, but I like this. It's kind of sharp. You know, I like the style of that crossguard. Very cool. Alright, and now we've got this one that's sheathed in this awesome stag leather. Stunning workmanship, very beautifully, like stamped. Looks like it's missing its leather, or its string that kept this side sealed. Maybe this one was on my hip. And I love it. Great. Rustic design. I really enjoy the shape. This is very deeply pitted. You can see that it's extremely roughly hewn. Really rustic looking. And it's got a furrow here, like a blood. I guess the technical term is a blood waterfall area. Alright, and this is from Germany, a Solingen knife. I'm so happy to have these in my collection and to know that they were used. says a saber monarch. And there's this associated smell with a lot of this old stuff that belonged to my dad. Very cool. That's one of my favorites because of the very rustic nature. Alright, so it looks like we've come down to the very last knife, but then we'll have a bonus category or two. This one is also in a nice black leather sheath from Pakistan, and it's a big old novelty knife that looks like that pony knife we were checking out earlier. Manufactured in Pakistan. That big, big knife. It looks like that pony. Let's for comparison. Where's my pony knife? There it is. Yep. Very cool. It's a big piece of metal. Feels good in the hand, a little wobbly there near the locking mechanism. Just a little bit. Monstrous blade. The biggest knife I own. Maybe this should be my new letter opener. Just tuck it in over there and slice and dice. Alright, now our bonus category. I remember playing with this little razor a lot when I was young, taking it apart over and over again. My grandmother, too, may have been the original owner of some of this stuff, because I remember, hopefully there's not a razor in it now. I remember she had a very cool coffee grinder that I always used to play with when I was visiting her. And then here we have a little safety razor. You just drop your razor there, and maybe we'll get a clue about the age. So Gillette, it just says Patent Office 2. I'm sure the internet's going to have a lot to say about the individual markings on these old Gillette razors. People are accustomed now to shaving with very long handles, so that's one unique difference. I don't have any shaving blades or like a strop or any interest in straight razor shaving really, but I've seen some videos about it. Bonus category 1. A beautiful old Gillette handheld pocket razor. Alright, and bonus category number 2. These old Zippos. Several years ago I thought maybe I would try to find out the value of these. And I don't think that it's really too opaque, and you can just kind of look it up easily with the company markings, but I gave up my search before I found out if these have any value. But got some old Zippos, and I'm still fascinated by Zippos. I don't really remember playing with them a lot when I was a kid, but whoa. Alright, we're about to get to some good stuff. I didn't even know it was down there. Here's just another one. Looks similar to the one we just had a look at. A little bit worse for wear. The lid's a little loose. Similar on the bottom here, both say just Bradford I do not know who that would have been. A lot of grime in this one. You can see that the whatever the fuel was has coated the insides of this with a gray, suspicious gray powder. Oh, it came off all over me, of course. And on my fabric here, that's fine. Whoa. Alright. I may be insufflating this. Alright. Now, this is a surprise for me. I'd forgotten that one of these small Zippos, that's an actual Zippo brand, has a moon lander on it. Check it out. That is so awesome.